We're going to be kicking this one off any moment, though, but let us know in the chat, who do you guys want to watch? Who do you want to keep eyes on? Caboose, definitely the rock star so far if you're looking purely at the damage statistics for Envy up to this point in the matchup. On the other side, we've had great performances from Crashies, Food and Crashies. Phenomenal game one, but Food slowing down as we went to Ascent.
I'm really hoping that we see Sovas continue on. I think Sova is so awesome on this map. There's so much you can do across all of the map, but we're not going to see a single Sova. But we will see double Killjoy, which I don't know that we have seen yet today.
Yep.
So this is going to be really interesting to see how this dynamic plays out. Both teams have the Cyphers as well. We have the Omen instead of the Brimstone. That's the only difference. The Omen instead of the Brimstone there. And it's going to be interesting to see exactly how that plays out. We can talk about some of the advantages and disadvantages, the use cases for that difference, but we don't have time for that. The pistol is about to begin. This is the deciding map between these two teams in this elimination series here at the Pop Flash Invitational. And it starts off with that oh-so-typical Cypher cage. If you haven't seen it before in this map, in that position, you better get used to seeing it every single round, because that is so important.
Look at this defensive push out of the gates. We see an A lean coming from Envy. T1, though, they want to get behind enemy lines, and to do so, it's going to be Food. Crashies looking for contact down long. And they're going to make the call. They're backing out. Food, get ready.
And this is a very common scenario. Food should be very expectant of this. They know that there hasn't been a commitment towards the A site yet, and they're going to line up for him with that Ghost. He's able to pick up one and get some good damage, almost finishing off Akis on that Killjoy as well. And now this is the shenanigans that's so annoying when you're the defender on this map. The rotations for you are so long and painful. And so they make it look like they're going to rotate, and now they're going to cut noise for enough time where they can suggest that they're going C, and boom, they're going to hit the A site. And look how much clearer it is of defenders. Just AZK here, anchoring it for now.
They know now as the camera goes out. Good paranoia from Short. Flank is here. And AZK hasn't picked up a kill yet, but he also survives. Mummy waiting in hell. And it's EU waiting for the smoke to clear before going for an angle. Molly is available, though, and that could be critical here on a retake opportunity.
Yeah, it's such huge value. I cannot wait to see where it lands. And there we go, in that cubby. And it's actually landed on the mark, but somehow Calypso still gets a frag out of that. Finesse with a very good peek, and Mummy shuts it down, even gets a collab there. Beautiful stuff from Envious, and really cookie cutter stuff in terms of, you know, they made a lot of noise going towards A. They were spotted. They know that T1 is stacking A at that point. They know also that there's someone on there's very likely someone on the flank, and that flank player is holding, waiting for the moment to flank. You go back, you clear out that position. The defenders then don't know where you're going, and so then you get to re-execute onto any site of choice. But the defenders have to rotate off of that A stack. They just have to do it. So very, very basic stuff from Envy there to take the advantage as we now move into this anti-eco. Can Envious win this one as well?
Akis is ready for a flank this time through the middle as he set up the alarm bot. Also has his turret to spot anyone that could be pushing through A. And now they know that's where the defenders are pushing from. Instant punish as both Akis and Finesse, the Sentinel agents, are picking up kills. A third now here for Finesse. They've got everyone trapped in the window, and this could be a flawless round.
Yeah, it's looking really good. Nice little attack there from Akis, finding the heads with that Spectre, and you can see that Crashies will go down as well. I think he was trying to die to the turret.
Yeah, he's like, just take me. Let me be the first in NA Valorant history to die to a turret.
I don't know if you get less money, if like maybe the Killjoy doesn't get the money bonus, if the turret gets the kill, or what the reason is, but I imagine it must be something like that.
Killjoy mains, let us know in the chat, please. Dan and I clearly not enough time on the newest agent in the pool.
But one quick thought as well about that eco push, that stack down the B push. It's pretty common that the ecoing players will do stacks like that. But enough about that. We have the operator in the hands of ACK, and he's going to be playing towards B, on the top of B at the moment. And there's that cage we were talking about, denies information. The cam as well allows you some forward info if someone's playing the short position, and then rotates out.
Akis setting up his alarm bot outside of the B doors in case a flank is coming through. That is going to give Finesse a lot more confidence as he moved through the mid. I think he spotted the operator from AZK and wisely dipped into the corner. So their C push may be stalled out here. Lots of equipment waiting for him. Caboose is going to spot it and eliminate it. Turret destroyed. And here comes Caboose. Perfect flash finds Brax hiding in the corner. Now a second opportunity, but you hold strong.
And lots of trades coming through here. AZK, he's arrived onto the scene in an explosive fashion. That operator doing great work, leaving just Finesse left alive in the 1v2. 40 seconds to go, but AZK, he is really connecting. He'll finish things off there, and T1 will pick up their first rounds, as it is also their first gun round. And that's a great start. That is a really great start for T1.
So many downers against AZK yesterday in the chat, myself included as a commentator. Today, his jet has looked clean. Another big sniper round. He shows you can do it at range. Also up close and personal as he finishes the round against Finesse. Now will he be able to get a first blood? He's normally been holding angles and getting picks based off of teammates baiting them in. Wants to get aggro right away. And Mummy has a snipe on the opposite side of this cage.
And AZK actually has the support here. Food is creeping up behind the cage. And sometimes you can have these late setups, exactly like where Caboose is. So you do want to clear that position. Beautiful awareness there from Food.
Run it back time. You know there's an op on the other side. He tried to challenge it. Instead, they push right through, and Crashy's only able to trade out one.
And now, there's a minute to go. 3 versus 3. Crashies will be forced back. This isn't the worst situation for either side. You can see that Calypso was lurking up C long in the meantime, but that alarm bot will be triggered, so that's going to alert T1 as to the rotation of Envy. We'll have to see if Brax is going to be good for 2. He so often is. He also has some nano swarms available.
They're going to have to check this corner. Paranoia. He doesn't make a single sound. An instant punish. Dan looking for the third. Baits out the op shot. Pistol versus Phantom. I'm Brax. Thank you for the round.
He's a bit too good at this video game, isn't he? He didn't even need to drop any of the nano swarms there. Obviously, when they are that close, you can't bring your ability out as they are about to swing you, and he would basically kill his element of surprise, and he knew he was going to get at least 1 or 2 kills there. Such great work from Brax.
You're just worried about checking so many corners when turning that, but Brax just plays it so clean.
Absolutely, and also because, you know, they had the alarm bots like right next to where Brax was standing, you don't expect that necessarily. You can have a gamble that the Killjoy is not even on the site and is just leaning away because of the utility that is there. And I like this, that, you know, just picking up the ultimate orb with the Phoenix wall. Very nice. Crashies has to fall back, the pressure. Now, after pressuring the defenders back onto the A site, they can rotate out.
This is an eco coming in from Envy, but the blades are the key to victory. If Mummy stays alive, Envy's got a chance.
Oh, the dash updraft is punished by Food at the very least. And you said it, Puckett, the knives are so key, and they've only got 1 kill. The question is, will that be enough work? Maybe so. Caboose, we know how good he is, doing the damage again. And now it's a desperate retake attempt without the numbers. 2 versus 3 for T1.
Finesse able to use Food's weapon against them. AZK chimes in with his op and swaps out to the Phantom. Bladestorm also available, but he's in a 1v2 now, and Akis takes his turn on Killjoy with a double.
And you are so right about that jet ultimate. Like, it's so key. The get in ability. I don't know if that's I don't think that's the word, but the get in ability of that jet with the dash and with the right click on the knife. It's just so very powerful if you know where to put it, where to place it. And now in V, they strike right back. The question is, you know, what did T1 actually have here? They didn't have that much success just yet, so how much money do they even have? They should have good equipment. We can press tab for a second just to see what they're going for here. So they will be without an operator, so that's annoying. And you can see that AZK, I don't think
he's going to go for his ult, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So sacrifices have been made here for the economy of T1.
That's an enormous eco round for Envy. Not their first of the tournament. They've been so clean with just pistols in hand. Caboose is going to invest his run it back, gets the info of where Brax is located, and the enemy Killjoy ultimate is about to lock them down if they stay inside that zone. But it looks like everyone is going to dip. 0 players detained. Now it could be Brax's turn. I believe he's just 1 orb away from unlocking his.
Yeah, they got that C window and garage control to Envious, and this is really, really nice. Great conversion. There goes the daggers. Not really finding the connection that they need. Great jump burst coming in from Mermaid to deal with AZK. And just like that, T1 are withering away. Brax does keep hope alive. A spark of flame is still alive for T1 in a 2 versus 4. But maybe not now. Maybe
yeah, without Crash, Brax is just going to be like, guys, is there a gun I can keep? All right, cool. I'll grab this one and bounce. Over to A he goes, and Envy will not chase. They will be happy to pick up their 4th round back-to-back ones, as this one has gone 2-2-2 with Envy on top currently as attackers.
So one thing to bear in mind here, although Envious win this very important round, this is going to set T1 onto a save, but actually, what is saved here by Brax? What does he actually have?
I think it's just going to be a Phantom.
Just Phantom, okay.
Nebula Phantom, that's a nice one.
Yeah, nice and shiny and new.
Monty, isn't that beautiful? Isn't that the best skin in the game, Monte Cristo? He's staring at me with a death glare. He hates it, I love it.
But I was going to mention that one of the key factors there is that Envious did use the Killjoy ultimate and they used the Phoenix run it back. So those are two pretty big ultimates expended in that to win that one. And again, it's such a good round to win because we saw what the economy is like now for T1. But T1 have the lockdown. They've got the Brimstone ultimate as well, the Orbital Strike. So and they're pretty close to having the run it back as well. So they're now on ultimate advantage, and so we have to think about that going into the next gun round.
I think because you have this Killjoy ult, though, they feel like Brax could hold down C and B, but it doesn't matter if Finesse keeps playing like this. There is a quad already. Brax is across the map, but let Finesse get the ace. They're going to make their way over to A, and there's the double Nano Swarm setup, so a planter could be punished instantly. Envy still has to collect the spike, and it will be in the hands of Finesse. Brax last man standing, but Dan, how did that all go down for Finesse? He did so much damage so fast.
Yeah, just coming out of the cage. Just, you know what, if Finesse was playing like that in Counter-Strike, maybe he'd still be a Counter-Strike pro, because that was pretty insane, man. Finesse was not known for his mechanics in CSGO. He was just completely known for building structure into teams, for bringing up talent, for basically creating teams and making them successful, great mid-round calling, like these kinds of things. But he wasn't known as an individual fragger, so it's always a welcome sight to see Finesse just popping off like we saw there. And I was thinking that, you know, we had T1 playing for the 1 kill and also playing for ultimate orb control, because again, as I mentioned, I think their run it back was 1 away from an ultimate, so they were from the full ult charge. So
it's all pistols, so we shouldn't get super excited, but the fact that Finesse finished so cleanly and 3 of those were headshots, you can't take anything away from his spray.
Yeah. All right, but look at this, 4 ultimates available for T1. Now, this is a round where you really need to start taking control of things, so I would expect to see them try to find a way to utilize these to their advantage.
Armbot out the front, something that was punished constantly in their upper bracket match yesterday for Envy, but today T1 has been spotting it. Food is going to use his run it back and get absolutely no information.
Okay, well this is huge. The run it back spotted that there's no presence towards that side of the map, so they know that it's a C play. Now there's still a Killjoy ult for Brax, so if Brax can actually find a safe spot to plant that, and they could get the denial with the Orbital Strike, but they won't, because the Nano Swarm will deny the plant. Maybe an Orbital Strike now, possibly, or they'll wait for the spike to go down, force the opponents away, know exactly where they have to play, then drop the Orbital Strike on top of them. So there's lots of options here for this retake for T1. If they play it correctly, they should nail this.
The Omen is just outside of that circle, I believe, and he is not detained, so Calypso, just enough room to do some damage. Brax is going to chime in with a 2-piece. 3v3. Lots of smokes going down, and they're going to jump the spike. AZK hops off and hits an op shot. And Brax will find his 3rd of the round as they get the clean retake, keeping 3 up and walking away with some snipes to play with.
And that's like an awesome round from T1. There's a lot of stuff going on there, and they didn't actually end up they didn't have to use the Orbital Strike in the end, which is great that they can hold on to that, because it's such a powerful ult. But having the Killjoy ultimate, the lockdown, allows you to play a very heavy C retake style. So long as you don't lose window control, C window control, you have a really strong retake, because the guys trying to defend the spike are just, there's only so many places they can stand, just as you pointed out. So that was really awesome to see from T1. They needed to get back on the board, and they've got to keep it rolling now. And we got, oh, is we going to see an ult here from Brimstone?
Early dark cover from the defense, but attackers have pushed right through it. Food wants to get in their face. Akis says no at the window, not once, but twice. Both of the youngsters cleaned up already from T1. So it's a 3v5 for the defenders, and all alone is EU, the pickup from the Academy squad to fill in this weekend.
Oh my god, okay. This is really falling apart.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh, uh-oh. You wanted at least 1 kill. You wanted to make it expensive. All right, AZK gets the first. Spike is planted, and AZK could keep the operator. This alone would be a win for T1 in a dreadful round.
Yeah, and I was trying to figure out exactly what the plan was with the orbital strike. It looked like they were trying to play it off of the 2-man push in window, but Envy seemed to have a sense for a window aggression, and it's extremely, I mean, it's not extremely uncommon, but it is a very uncommon play to make. It's very risky to kind of walk 2 players out at the beginning of a gun round, all the way down mid, all the way into the window, and Envy, they were holding for early pushes, and they just caught it. And so I guess we'll never see exactly the orbital strike that they were looking for, but T1 at least have that to carry into the next round. But again, their economy can't be very good here. We'll have at least AZK maybe saving him. He needs to hold on to this operator. Oh, no,
nice dash!
God.
Not nice enough. Akis is going to clean him up with the final second. And now, what do you do here? As the defenders looking at their money, you got 2 players in the 2000s, 3,700 on a third. I think this is going to be nearly a full save, maybe some buckies, shorties, and tight angles. We'll see how they play this.
And the ult advantage is now kind of swinging back towards Envious, so it's definitely it's a tough spot to find yourself in if you're T1. It is hard to be on defense of this map. It's definitely an attacker-sided map because of the way the rotations work, but T1, they definitely are feeling the pressure right now, and oh, we might get a really, really dangerous situation here for Envious as they start to creep up C long. They know about this. T1 are ready for this. There goes the orbital strike, straight on top of the push as it's commencing, and they can't get past it. They're stuck behind it, and anyone who does make it past is just gibbed by the shotgun.
Calypso able to sneak by. AZK investing fully into the operator. Trades kills as Mummy finds his. And Mummy knows there's at least 1 more player on the site. It's Brax. He's got the headshots, and if Brax had any other gun, I think Calypso dies.
Yeah, that's very surprising. Calypso can't capitalize there. He's still at the backside, but now his position is known, and that makes a huge difference. 3 versus 3 as the spike will finally get planted by Envious. It's kind of hard to imagine that they even have found themselves in this position, but they have. And now the push comes back in, and they are doing a great job on holding onto things. Crashies can only do so much. And Envious will convert, and that's a round that T1 have to. You feel like they have to win a round like that. They caught that push. It felt like they had it dead to rights.
Yeah, let's take a look at the economy now, because that several round losses in a row, but they spent every last credit investing into round 10. Now we got 2 more opportunities for Envy to score.
Will we see AZK pop the daggers here? That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, I mean, you only got 2 rounds left, might as well. I think that's the expectation. And here he comes.
Holding on to it for now, at least. Not wanting to announce it just yet. And we get short control coming in for Envious, so it looks kind of like the typical default. They've got a trip towards C long, so not worried about C long. They have, you know, their Omen sitting outside of the garage as well, just keeping pressure, keeping an eye on the situation. They know that T1 is in a position where they would possibly make a desperate play and maybe run some shenanigans with numbers. So they're really looking for it and trying to protect against any variance with those pistols that they know that they're up against.
Crashy's trying to run away from that aggression. Instead, he is going to be cut down. Teleport, well, that's going to lead to a free kill and a free gun for Brax. 4 versus 4. With the blade still out for AZK on the A site, it looks like those attackers are going to take the spike and think a different route is going to be the best for them. Akis trying to work his way into B. Brax going back over to the C site, stalling out for his teammates to get into position to help on B.
Oh, they can't really push this smoke. They are forced to go to C right now, and T1 know it. Brax was there in C window ready for it. T1 know they have to commit to C, and there's a nano swarm here, and Finesse doesn't know where that is. Now that could deny the plant depending on where the spike goes. Down, will it get popped? Okay, we get the Killjoy ultimate, and also one in kind instead. And they have to hold on to garage control so that they can maintain the Killjoy lockdown presence. And they're going to swing with it. There's the cage, though, to deny that attack. The angles, the line of sight.
Detained.
They do get detained, though, as you say. And Oh, it's down to Mummy. He's going to have to be in a 1v1 now. That's a great connection. Just up drop with the knives out, trying to play around this one.
No,
oh,
you
flashes
flashed
himself
yourself.
food. He tried to make it work, but it's just not going to happen. And Envious hold on to it again.
I don't know if that's a clutch or a fail. Either way, Envy up 8-3. Man, that got weird real quick, Dan. Our first time seeing the double lockdown.
Yeah.
And we knew T1 wanted to react. They have to take out the lockdown to make theirs count. It does. They trade out a kill, but then both players going for the peak. Perfect cloudburst from Mummy. He gets around the corner as Food accidentally catches himself with the flash. And the second one will end his life. Mummy, a big round here as Envy is looking at a 9-3 attacking half here on their map pick.
And we just saw... Oh, actually, no, there wasn't a running back there collected for T1, but the orb was picked up. But yeah, that was a heads-up play. Just the updraft there was so smart from Mummy. He's been amazing. T1, they need this fourth round so desperately moving into the second half. We'll see if they can grab it here. We get the initial A-long presence. We've seen it so many times, and MVS look like they want to commit behind this now, leaving Omen in middle as a lurker to cut off rotation. Right now, it feels like T1, they don't have any idea what's going on. Now they might start to wonder, as they've now figured out where a couple players are towards this long position. And here it comes the split from short as well. Or maybe not. They're actually going to back away. They even fooled me.
Turret sees nothing. Already one player pushed up in mid. That's going to be Calypso, who's ready to paranoid if needed. Cover is there. And they are faking A still, trying to keep two players in position. That's exactly what's going down, is everyone's going to be rushing on to B. EU hears it, he calls it, but how do they handle it?
Great cover there from Food to help EU out. The Molotov is available there as well on the Brimstone, so Food, well, you know what? Food just doesn't care. With the run it back, he's able to entry there, get EU into a deeper position with that Brimstone. And Crashies has the flank. The window position will be key to deal with. Now Crashies will make Envious worry about this. He's going to cam because he knows they could be holding that. They know about him, and the pressure comes onto the side at the same time. Envious have problems on every single side, but can they hold on to this regardless? Just trying to make noise there, trying to occupy attention. Crashies has taken Mummy out of the fight here. Mummy has to turn back around. Can he find a timing? No! Crashies goes down. Mummy again is causing problems. Oh, AZK though! He's causing more. The operator, the Jet, AZK, the debut with this agent with T1. It is paying off here.
AZK's turn to clutch up. That one got messy again. Envy somehow stalling it to the final moments, but the snipes land. The Jet picks up 2 more kills, as AZK was pretty quiet there for a few rounds in a row. As we take a look at our total numbers, it's going to be T1's turn to attack. Envy on the defense is going to be 5 rounds away from locking up this match.
You have to give it to Crashies. Like, I know that, you were bigging him up earlier, and just the amount of patience that he had, the fact that he was constantly this threat, huge threat to Mummy, was taking Mummy out of the fight for so long. It was played so well. But looking at how this round looks to be shaping up from the buy time here, we can see there's a huge lean right now towards this C-long position for T1 as they want to open up their pistol round with success. Oh, the spam shots are really scary, I have to say.
And EU's another frenzy player. I want to see what his plan is. First smoke going down, and 3 players have been whittled. Mummy taking advantage of it from his safe angle. Meanwhile, Finesse doing most of the damage, and there is another one. The pistol rounds for Envy have been clean in this matchup. T1 now relying on some heroics from Crashies. 1v3 scenario. They have no idea where this man is lurking, but he is always somewhere in the middle of the map. Ake is patiently waiting from defensive spawn, is going to pick it up. The headshot with the classic, and it's Envy now just 4 away, Dan. They've got the guns to do it. You win this, you win the next rifle round, you basically got this game locked.
Yeah, that was such a great victory there for Envious. They are in such a good position, as you say, and for T1, it really has to feel like things are very desperate indeed. And I'm curious what they will be up to here. We do see a save, so they're not going to try to just force out the rest of the rounds.
Right.
And they have just enough rounds for that not to be the case that you would need to do that, so it's good to see. It's just the pistols for now, and they're looking to go for a burst onto A. They may expect that the Killjoy will be on the C side here. And these nano swarms might be a problem. They might really be a problem.
You got Caboose with a flash available. The nano swarm is going to stall all movement. No flash on the opposite side, but it doesn't matter because Food is still going to find the kill, and he's going to grab the SMG to boot. Spike back in the spawn is going to be traded off as EU hands it over to Brax. And A may still be the plan here for T1. 58 seconds, plenty of time to work with.
Yeah, they want to catch an information play here, someone pushing down short to confirm the info, but Envy aren't giving it to them, but Food is certainly going to give it to Calypso with that Spectre, and now they can move in forwards behind this after some of the defenders rotated out, but Akis, he might be able to do some more here, just the one. Mummy now will show himself with that ghost from spawn, but T1 have done enough to get a 2v2 off the plant.
And of course they've got weapons, they've got utility still to burn. Molly available on EU. Brax is going to use his turret to scout out any info. And I thought we were going to see Brax walking away with an SMG by now. He's still on the Classic. And that's with the drop down. That one's a freebie. Brax nowhere on site. Nano Swarm protecting the Spike though.
This is so scary right now for Brax. As you say, he's only on the Classic. And there's a second Nano Swarm. Has it delayed enough time? Not quite, I don't think. It looks like it should be good here for Envious to defuse this one. And there we go. Brax needed a few more seconds there of delay, but the Nano Swarms are only good for so much. And it's really unfortunate because he was kind of disjointed with EU, just basically leaving. He's like, good luck, man. Just, you know, you're on your own in this clutch. And you know, that was really unfortunate because EU was unable to do too much. It would have been nicer to see him find a different way to play the after plant, as opposed to being so isolated, but...
And EU was leaning a little bit too far to the left as well, to where you can get shot in the back from heaven. So you can clearly just tell it's still the first tournament playing together. New agent for Brax as well. T1 at the end of it all, though, loses back-to-back rounds at a very decent attempt on just pistols.
Early spam coming through there towards the window position to discourage T1 for taking any, you know, early window peeks. And because of that, what happens is T1 now have to be suspicious that Envy could have walked down mid and taken a position under the window. So it just slows them down. So they finally were able to clear some of these positions, only to run into the dark cover, which looks pretty deep.
Food was tagging the ground, though. I don't think he's expecting Calypso to be high ground.
And he's left himself a gap, which is really nice. Sometimes when there's these gaps, you're like, oh, there's a gap, I can look into that, but it's by
big.
design. Yeah.
Dodges the first flash, punishes the run it back. Now he's got time to do damage. Envy Calypso finds two. EU trades it out, and he's looking for his second headshot as Caboose falls. We've got a fair fight on B. As always, it's going to be Crashy's lurking, though. And will his lurk land any damage fast enough? His teammates, so much pressure on them to stay alive, and Finesse is going to stop him before the spike is planted.
Oh, that is rough. No cover on those angles, and Akis is extremely wise to the lurking Crashies. And, oh, it just all falls apart. It looked like there was so much more potential for that, but no one, well, they were all exposed towards C-Link, and no one was checking for that. That's very unfortunate for T1. I really like the contact into the B site with the run it back. Even though Calypso gets a double here, they're still in a pretty good spot to be able to convert.
And Akis played this really well. He's the player that made everyone look that direction. Then he backs all the way up and finds Crashy's lurking. Great job, as he has definitely adjusted to the play from T1 throughout this matchup. Read that one incredibly well. As you take a look at the numbers, Akis 14-7 after a really rough day one on this agent. Strong performance here on Haven.
That was a close one. Oh, and that one wasn't. That was just dead on through the smoke. That's unfortunate. That's exactly what T1 needed to not happen. Lose somebody for free at the beginning of the rounds. There's a two-man setup here in the garage position, and T1, they're in a spot where they kind of just have to go together somewhere. You kind of scrap the default after you lose someone like that, and they might catch Mummy here. They're going to see the barrel, I think. And yeah, indeed, get Food as we had to take down Mummy, and that's the equalizer they were looking for.
The gun's pretty long, Mummy. All right, here we go. Flashes are out. I believe that did catch Caboose over on the right side, playing from A. Meanwhile, a second flash is going to find Calypso and force them back. B site controlled long enough to get the spike planted this time, as Food puts it down. No ultimates to work with, and the spam continues through the double smokes.
Those jet one-ways are so annoying. Envy's Caboose there takes control of window. They've got grass control as well. There is a player below the window. Will they expect Brax? Brax could win the round right here if he's perfect, and he so often is. That's a great start from Brax. He knows where the next player is. Oh, so stunning. Needs just a pixel. That's all he needs. If there's a pixel, it's good enough for Brax. Crashy's holds things down at the back of the site, but Akis, he's not done just yet. The Killjoy ult will drop, and I don't know if Akis really has time to deal with it. Has to just wait it out at the back of the site in this 1 versus 1. Brax has done enough. Ooh, that was a close one. I should be able to make it away with the gun, but Brax is really holding things together for the team right now. It feels like T1 are a little bit lost in some of these rounds, but Brax is he's fragging, man. He's always good for it.
Like you said, just give him a few pixels, he can land a headshot. Let's take a look at it one more time. It got started with Mummy down long. He got a little too aggro, and then Brax, the lurker, this time, after the post plant, he's sitting out mid and just sees the top of Caboose's head, punishes so quickly. Akis with a nice little push towards the end. But that Killjoy ultimate forces him off the site, secures the plant for T1, and they're still in this one at 5-11.
Holding on by their fingernails on the edge of the cliff. They need to find more success, and we'll get Envy going for that mid-aggression, and with the pressure that they put onto the window, this is always a possibility. T1 have to be worried about this, and cognizant that this could happen, that Caboose can just sit here and wait for the smoke to go down, just hold on to that position. That's a lot of information. That's a dangerous flank opportunity as well, and the setup there below him covers any grass push as well. So it's a very nice forward setup, and with Mummy also getting a pick, things are going from bad to worse for T1, but at least there's a trade back.
And this makes things interesting. Now, EU is also the spike carrier, but has his ultimate to protect it post-plant. Feel he is the key player in this scenario. He's just going to roll across the spawn, though, and he is going to be found by the lurking Caboose, who got into window. Caboose calls out the spike's location. Everyone on defense feeling pretty comfortable, but Brax is going to punish Calypso, getting aggressive through the double doors, and AZK is going to find a face of his own. So just like that, T1 flips the scripts. They're going back to A, and it's just the Cypher, the in-game leader Finesse, left alive.
He is very annoying, so we'll have to see exactly what he's able to do here. It's a pretty deep off angle, but they have the luxury to clear everything, but no, Food didn't clear that position before he turns around towards the spawn clear, and they know where Finesse is. AZK isn't messing around, and he's going to drop Finesse as quickly as possible. Another round for T1, and again, this is an attacker-sided map, so NMV need 2 more rounds to win this series and eliminate T1. So T1, they're starting to get a grip of this. They are looking pretty lively. We saw a great recovery in that round. It did not start off particularly well. It feels like there are some good signs here for the prospects of T1.
Crashies is having a rough game, but he's also sacrificing himself for his teammates on some of these peaks. Don't read too much into that 4 and 15 line from a player that was helping top frag on split. Mummy with the ultimate, just a classic. He knows he needs to upgrade. And out come the Blades. 2 players at the end of C long. He heard at least the boots of the Brimstone. Calypso going through window with a pistol kill of his own. Finds Brax to start off the round. Another first blood to Envy.
That's a huge problem. Okay, 2 players spotted pushing short. That's huge. They need information really badly. Oh my god, Crash is just going to take one straight to the dome, and he's down to 62 HP, and there is no Sage. There's no Sage on the side. In fact, it's been quite a Sageless day, but it's going to be interesting to see what T1 do from this position. You start to feel really insecure when you're at a numbers disadvantage and you know you're against pistols and they can be around all sorts of corners. They don't have a Sova drone, they don't have a boombot, they don't have ways to easily clear these close positions. This could get really bad for T1. They decide to reset things, they slow it down, they cut noise, they prevent Envious from pushing the flanks, and then now they're going into this A hit. And this must work. They cannot lose this round.
Orbital strike could be used, but we'll probably go towards Heaven, maybe even CT. Run it back is going to be Pop first. On the opposite side, all 5 ultimates are still up for Envy. Turret destroyed. Food going hunting on the run it back. Caboose does give up his position. Remember, though, this is just pistols out for Envy this round.
I really like the run it back usage there to clear all the positions. We talked about the need for something that could clear positions, and Envious at this point, retaking without without weapons and utility is pretty much an impossibility. usually with a round like this, when you're playing an anti-eco, if you can find a way to facilitate a spike plant, it's the chances for the ecoing team to win the round plummets. And so we're going to see a 7-11 scoreline, so it's starting to close down a little bit. But once again, now Envious are back on the bye, and we'll have to see if they're going to continue with the mid shenanigans. I feel like they're getting way too much value out of that dark cover and window, and maybe T1 should start to think of ways to punish that.
Are we going to see an aggressive moment? He has been knifing the gates. Unleash me. A peek has been coming, following the smoke nearly every round from EU. This time, he's going to make the same smoke noise, but doesn't overcommit. Going to hide behind his teammates' Cypher tripwires. Meanwhile, Caboose will find that Cypher's Crashies is eliminated.
That's a crazy kill to get from Caboose. It looks like there's so much freedom here for Envious. T1 are all gathered up around the grass position. They don't really have any control. They don't have C-Long. They don't have a lobby. They have no control on the map right now. Envious know precisely where they have to be through the process of deduction because they have everything. So this is a problem. T1 have to claim back some position before they commit somewhere because otherwise it's too telegraphed. And maybe a barrel might be showing here from the Killjoy. We have to see Akis. Oh no, the spray, the transfer, he gets two. Is that too much?
It is so strong. You're looking at a 4 versus 2 scenario. Brimstone, not the most mobile creature, but you do have to respect the opping from AZK, and as EU falls, it's all up to AZK, who gets another punish this time. It's at the hands of Finesse. Lots of double kills. Akis got it started after the first blood pick from his teammate, of course, running on the Phoenix. Caboose has been clean throughout this series.
It really feels like, I mean, that kill's insane. That's really an insane one from Caboose. It felt like he had a lot of disadvantages there. You can see his crosshair placement was nowhere near his opponent. Had to make a huge adjustment for that. That's a huge loss for T1, and it feels like T1 are just the recipient of anything Envious wants to do, and Envious just get to do whatever they want, push anything, attack anything. But they're on the defense. It's not supposed to work like that.
Finesse has found 21 kills in this game, 18 for Mummy.
Oh my god, look at Caboose go again. He's just walked out mid by himself. There's never a punish in mid for these aggressive plays, and it could be a huge problem. So basically now, if there's a default where they take a lobby and they rotate out, Caboose is in a position to just crush them. Any rotating players. Here is a rotation towards A. That tells Caboose that, okay guys, they're going to go to A. It's huge information.
EU's been holding onto this orbital strike for what feels like the entirety of the game. Akis again with the double. Calypso started off with the sniper. And it's just 2 players remaining. Envy on match point here could lock it up right now.
Oh, this is so hard. They know that there's a player on the flank. They've already spotted Caboose. And they have to unlock the flank by killing Caboose. It's so difficult, and they don't have time. They have to try to just find a way to swing onto him and hope that he misses some shots, but you know what? He's going to hit every single shot. Caboose nails it, seals the deal there for Envious, 13-7, and they take this series against T1 in 3 maps.
Incredible stuff coming out of Envy. It got messy. It was tight early on, but when it mattered most, they were able to finish strong. Everyone stepping up with some multi-kills in that final round. And of course, Caboose, the closer, MVP of the match, in my opinion. After a rough day 1, the boy has bounced back, and he had a very strong performance.
Oh, yeah, he's so good. Like, he's so good in these clutch scenarios, in these situations where he has to take initiation and just react to what's happening. And also, he knows when to stop moving, which is really key. He always knows when to stop. And in that round, we saw how he lurked out into middle and was able to get all the information as to precisely what was happening. This guy was doing everything. What a player.
I love it. Envy, they get the win, they stay alive. And as we mentioned, this was the Eliminator matchup. We've had 2 so far. If you're just joining us, TSM, they survived, but Gen.G is out. And now T1 will be exiting the tournament, as it'll be Envy staying alive in Group B. DDK, our first cast together, I loved it. Thank you for participating with us here in the chat, guys. We are going to be closing out here from the desk.